right, so it looks like Logan Paul is going to be making his boxing return this year, and his opponent is already confirmed.
He's done it from time to time. Just every bit.
From the United Kingdom, the Nightmare.
Now, we don't know who his opponent's going to be yet, but there have been some big old rumors about who this opponent is going to be. Last week on Logan Paul's podcast, he revealed that he is officially making his boxing return this year and that he already has an opponent, right? So this fight is made. We don't know the date yet, but he knows the opponent. So naturally, because of this, people started looking for hints of who this opponent could be, what fights are out there for Logan Paul right now. And the name that's been going around the most on social media has been ex-UFC star Darren Till. Dylan Dan has tweeted out that Logan is avoiding the fight with him in order to go fight Darren Till, who is actually a lot better opponent than Dylan Dennis is. We all know he would be pretty horrible. And no one in this space is going to do a fight with Dennis after what happened with KSI. We all know that. Bro's done. He's too busy getting arrested and getting bodied by security guards and clubs. His fighting days are over. But Darren Till's fighting days are not over. Darren Till recently parted ways with the UFC, mutually parted ways, I guess. And at one point, Darren Till was a huge name in the UFC, still a name that's talked about quite a lot. His whole friendship with Khamzat Chimaev was pretty big, that made him blow up a lot. But he was once one of the biggest prospects in the sport, but in recent days has taken some disappointing losses on his record, but is in no way a bad fighter. So I don't hate this fight, right? This is a solid fight. Darren Till is a solid fighter, and I really wouldn't mind seeing this happen, right? Because Logan can still fight UFC fighters. He's not Jake, where we don't want to see that anymore. Jake, he's kind of moved past that. We want to see the whole boxer thing, right? He fought Tommy Fury. I think Jake is done with the whole retired UFC fighter thing. But Logan is winless, right? Logan has his loss to KSI, his draw to KSI, and then he has his fight with Mayweather, which was interesting, but he didn't win it. So Logan Paul has 0 wins, a guy who's very hyped in the scene. He does get made fun of a lot for his 0 wins, but people do think he is a solid fighter, and he needs to come back and get a win. He needs to show that he is one of the best fighters in this whole space. And I think he can do that. Logan Paul's potential is very high when you compare it to everyone else on Misfits or Kingpin. He can be one of the top guys 100%. And this is his chance to prove it. So overall, I do think that's a solid fight for him. I also wouldn't mind him fighting the winner of the JMX versus Le'Veon Bell fight, right? That is the headline for the next Misfits event. And Logan has already had back and forths with both of these guys. Logan has had a back and forth with JMX, and he has had a back and forth with Le'Veon Bell at one point. We know Bell wants that fight. He's called out Logan multiple times, and JMX has as well. The two have gone back and forth on Twitter a couple times. So the winner of that fight kind of makes sense if he wants to go down that Misfits road. Probably not the biggest names in the fighting space. JMX, a YouTuber who has a couple wins, but his last performance was a little bit disappointing against Ginty, and he got knocked down, even though it was kind of a slip, but he was knocked down fairly. That was a legit knockdown, and it just wasn't the performance people wanted to see from him. Now, kind of an early prediction for that fight, I do think Le'Veon Bell is going to win. I'll break that whole thing down in another video for why I think that's going to happen. But so if Le'Veon Bell was to win, I don't mind seeing that fight, right? Because I already said Logan just needs a win. He doesn't need to go fight a professional boxer yet, right? He needs a win. And I'm not saying those two fights are easy. I'm not saying the Le'Veon Bell fight is easy, and I'm not saying Darren Till is an easy fight. Darren Till is a harder fight of those two, in my opinion. But Le'Veon Bell is no easy fight. He went the distance with Uriah Hall, and he knocked out Adrian Peterson, who's another NFL player, out cold. And he has stayed with it now consistently for a decent amount of time, and he's picking up the sport, and he's just learning it more as time goes on. And he's not like an old guy. I think he's only like 32 years old. He's not that old of a guy. So he's going to continue to get better and better as time goes on, and we will see how good he is in his next fight in April. At the end of the day, Logan does not need the most difficult fight. He just needs a win, and these are the two fights that I would like to see him in. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think Logan Paul should fight? in his comeback of 2023. Subscribe for more boxing updates and content if you feel like it. That would be pretty cool. The support is much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Peace.